Pikachu?
Hey everyone, welcome back, and yes, today we are going to be doing Pikachu. So I have the last bit of my stone coat resin upside down, draining into the cup, and I'm just waiting for that to finish draining so I can at least get the most, maybe at least, hopefully 2, maybe 3 of these guys filled. Whatever it doesn't fill, I have this, this clay, molding clay that hardens on its own, that we can always come in and fill in and paint afterwards to make the 4th one. But for now, just gotta wait for that resin to finish, then I can mix it all together. And after we pour that, while that's setting, I have brown leather that we're gonna come in and cut up and glue together and make Detective Pikachu's hat. So I will see you guys then. Alright, so I got my resin all mixed up. I made about 1 full cup, which I'm so thankful for. I actually had to let it drain for a little over an hour into the cups. And I came back and they were both almost halfway full, so I was like, yay! But hopefully that's enough to make at least 3 of these little guys. I'm going to be adding a little bit of the Soho, this one is Cad Yellow Light, and a smidge of the Stone Coat Gold Metallic. That should be enough. A little bit right now, hit with the torch, try to get any of those air bubbles out. Since this is a pretty deep silicone mold, and then come back we can add a little bit more. Actually, if I go through this, I think I have enough for maybe a turtle. Now that we have this part done, this is the part that's going to take probably forever. So let's start working on our hat. Oh, and before I forget, don't forget to torch it, get out any of the bubbles that may appear, and especially with molds this thick, you'll want to come over this every couple of minutes. You'll see little bubbles popping up, and you can just easily hit them with the torch. There's also sprays out there if you're not comfortable with torches, and if you put a little bit of an isopropyl alcohol into a misting bottle and lightly mist on top, it will also eliminate all of the bubbles in your resin. Alright. Now, let's get the fabric on center and I will be right back. Alright, so I got all of that put aside. Grabbed the items that we will be using. Now his hat. I'm gonna draw it out for you guys real quick. The hat is one of those, it's a double bill. So, the initial shape here. So we have 4 triangles. To make that first part. So they come together like that. Then it has the 2 flaps right here and here that fold up and tie together. And then lastly, the bills. So that's initially the shape that we have to make. So what I'm thinking, since the Pikachus are only about this big, I don't need too much fabric to start with, but yeah, so we're going to just start with our triangles. Get 4 sets of those cut out so we can glue those together. Okay everyone, some quick updates. While I was cutting and measuring those last triangles, yeah, I was making them a little bit too big. So I came back and we cut out, see, they're about 1 inch on the base, and the height is about 1 and 1 centimeter triangles. So I got those all cut out. I got 16 of those. Then I came in for the side flaps that we're going to tie together. These are about the same width, 1 inch, and these are definitely longer. These are about 1.5 inches in length. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8 of those. Then I also noticed on some of the pictures, on the top of the little hat, he has that little tiny dot, so I cut out little tiny dots for that. As for framework, I'm just using these key rings because they fit perfectly. Once all the leather and everything is on, they fit perfectly in between the 2 ears. So I'm using one of these stiff tweed twill potato sacky tags, and because it's stiff. So we're going to come in with the bill. We're going to probably just glue all of the bills onto it and then cut them out from there. But it just helps give it that stiff bill, and then on the bottom it'll have that little bit of texture. So let me get these all glued down, and we'll zoom in and we'll start focusing on putting them together. Alright, so I have them all glued on. Now I'm just going to come in and we're going to cut them out. Which, this stuff is very stiff, so it's going to take a minute. But after I get them each cut out, then we'll use the hot glue and we'll start putting our little hats together. Alright, so quick note. So the silicone mold that I used for the Pikachu can be found on Amazon. I'll put the link below for you guys. It's stiff now, so now we can start putting our hats together. We're going to start off by gluing the 4 squares all the way around our ring. So I'm going to hold the ring just like that. We're going to put a bead of glue along the brim, and I can come in, easily push. So now that we have that reinforced, I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to fold that first layer right here in, put a little hot glue, and again another bead of hot glue, and press about there. And I'm actually going to come in and cut this bottom off. I'm actually going to use the yarn to pull them together. Alright, so since we have that on, I'm just going to come in, we're going to apply 2 little holes, one on each side. Okay, so got it through. Now I'm just going to come in and we're going to tighten it. There we go. Figuring out where we want the bells to be. Put that over there. I'm probably going to come back here in a second with the paint pen just to touch it up a bit. But for the most part, here's the little hat. Like a really rough version, but okay, so while the dogs are barking, just came in with a little gold and the black V-ball from Pilot. added some cross hatching and everything, tried to make it look a little bit more like tweed, kind of like his hat. But yeah, so there we have it. We have one hat down. Can't wait to get the other 3 done and for the resin to set up. And once that is done, I'll be back and we will put our little hats and finish up our Pikachus. So, I'll see you then. Alright everyone, so I went ahead and I finished one of them because I couldn't wait. I had to play. I had to see what I was going to do, how I was going to finish it, but I left the other 3 to reveal for you guys. So I gotta just come in and pull and separate it from the mold. Kind of. It's like one little. There we go. Ta-da! Let me get the other 2 out. There we go. So we have the 3 that I'll show you what I did to do this one. With his rosy little cheeks, his cute little 2-tone mouth, his ears, and then applied the little hats that we made. Oh, and anyone that wants to know, the little turtle came out just fine. Hello, little turtle. So I have the colors already pre-mixed in these little bottles, the little nose bottles. Have our heat gun already heating up. And all of this. So to start off, I'll do this one right in front. I just came in and I filled in and you just repeat the same thing. Alright, so now that we have that part down, now we can come in. Next, let's do the mouth. So I took a little bit of my reds and white, mixed them together into a bottle to make this pink tone. Now, come with your darker red. And all along the top here, you're going to squeeze on the top. And you're going to fill in. And I like to release it up along this top part right here, because there's a little bit of a mouth, like at the roof of the mouth. And then I let it drip down that center part right there. And just like paint pouring, I came in and I dragged the center down. The next spot that I came in is right in here in the mouth, the black. Pretty much it for the white. So the next step is the red. We're just going to come in right along the top of the cheek since they're angled and release some of the red in there. And you can slowly move it down, but you don't want to flood these because all it'll do is overflow on the one side. Right, so while those are drying, I'm just going to come in with the PBO for artist marker. And right here there's a line, see if I can, where that separation is. There's a pre-molded line for where the black tip on the ear is. And I'm just coming in and coloring in the ears. Alright, so now that we have our faces all colored in, everything is set. Now the fun part, waiting for it to dry so we can come in and attach our little Sherlock hats. And the finished product will be our little Pikachus. Our little detective Pikachus. Yeah. We used Stone Coat countertop resin, and stay tuned. I brought this out to show you guys. Our next video is inspired by this. Some of you may remember it. It's an earlier video I did. We'll be revisiting that here in a minute. Our little tiny detective hats will be attached here shortly when these are dry, but the finished product comes down to this. So we have a little tiny Pikachu. Not quite sure the purpose of it yet. I'll figure that out. If you guys have any ideas where we can attach these, what we can do with them. So they're a little bit big for jewelry, they're a little bit big for a lot of stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys have any ideas or purpose for them other than being cute, novelty little things. And you guys are amazing for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Pikachu.